Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend, and I'm back. It's Sunday, February 20th. I hope everybody is well. Welcome, welcome. Please like, subscribe, share me with your friends. Um, all readings and divinations are for the purposes of entertainment only. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist, or a financial advisor. Please seek those if you need one of those. Hello, hello, everybody that's here. Welcome. Last night I was so excited. I got to go to, or I was asked to participate and do readings at an event. And it was my first being in-person event since before the pandemic. And it was so much fun. This woman, her name is Kim Kasanov. I don't think I linked her name in the video, but I will. She is a coach and she puts together all these events, and this was one of her first. She's going to do a lot of different kinds of events. So if you live in the area, she's hosts events, and she's out of Maplewood, New Jersey. It was really fun. It was a great group of women, and it was all around doing manifesting and creating vision boards. And everybody was so creative and came up with so many really beautiful vision boards, like artwork quality. I even told her, I was like, I'm like crafty. I'm not really. She's like, you can create something. She's really got fantastic energy. So Kim Kasanov, if you can look her up, Kassinove. And it was just a lot of fun doing readings, and really I was nervous because I always usually have paper to write on, because especially when kind of connecting them with energy, and I was doing a little different style, but I was really excited because I put myself out there. Originally she was looking for tarot readers, and I'm like, I don't do tarot, but I totally do manifesting. So I would love to do readings for you. So it was a lot of fun. And I look forward. I'm already got another event, in-person event scheduled in 2 weeks from now, with another person reached out to do readings. And that one's a smaller event, but I'm really excited. I like doing readings. That's it. I like doing what I'm doing. So I hope everybody's well. I guess check me out on TikTok. I'm going to make some videos after this. I think if we get through this early, I'm going to record some stuff. I want to talk about, I just finished my psychic development circle, just wrapped up on Tuesday. I'm going to open up another one, but probably it's going to start after the spring break holidays or whatever, because I feel like people start going on breaks now for March and April kind of are sporadically out. So hi, L. Johns, I got your payment. I just wasn't sure of your screen name, so I didn't want to put your name on there, your actual name. So I will add that in. KK, are you here? So I'm going to open up another circle. It'll probably be mid to third week of April that'll open up. And as soon as I get that on my website, I will let you guys know, and you should join it. It's amazing. I love helping you connect into your own intuition and to know that it's super natural and way easier to develop it. And it's not scary, and it's not Hollywood, and it's not all the scary things that come out about stuff. I do. Oh, thank you, KK. Hello, welcome. KK is amazing, and I adore her, and I can now feel like I call her friend. I really appreciate her, so I hope you show her love. Everybody can learn to develop it. Ask KK. Everybody can learn to develop it. Everybody, I think it's just that we're taught that it's something only certain people have, and that's not true. And then a friend of mine who happened to be kind enough to jump in and do a reading with, she had been in previous circles, and she's the reason I do readings. I said, could you please help me? Because I think someone's not going to be there. And it ended up working out perfectly. But she said, I'm not really strong with my mediumship. And so I'm going to do a TikTok quick video on sort of helping you develop your mediumship. Everybody thinks that there's something different about when you do pet psychic stuff, or when you connect with trees. Just anything in general is what I'm saying. Basically, energy is energy is energy. And if you can do one, you can do them all. It's really preference, belief systems, and all of that. Some people, I know someone who he does energy work, and he's like, I don't like doing, he likes like he gets rid of all these dark things, but he doesn't like doing mediumship. I can do the dark stuff. I just don't like to remove. Like I have some videos over on TikTok about earthbound energies and stuff, and I will remove them if they're around me. But I don't want to do that as work. I don't want to focus on that around other people. Um, I'd rather just do readings and mediumship and all of that. So it's all personal preference at some point. So okay, so should we get started? Yes. Okay. So and sorry I didn't mean to out you that we're friends now, KK. If you didn't want to admit it, that's fine. I'm sorry. We can delete that section. So all right. So Jennifer, you wanted a general reading, and then Charlie Girl, if you want to type your question while I'm doing Jennifer's. Okay. So the very first thing I was like asking, okay, what does she need to know? And my awareness was brought kind of to my stomach and my lungs, like feeling like a pressure here in my stomach and a little bit of stuff going on. And I feel like it's more on my like left side, but I don't necessarily feel like it's breast. It does feel like a respiratory thing kind of going on. And I asked them, I'm like, what's this about? I want to know about like the 3 months. She wants to know what she can look forward to the next 3 months. And I'm like, and they said, let's stop ignoring the elephant in the room. Hi, Libra Moon. So I don't feel like the elephant in the room has something to do with me. I feel like the elephant in the room has, my sense is that you're ignoring some health issues that are going on, or you're, um, okay. So sorry. Um, mm, it's not fully a health issue. There's a lot of energetic stuff tied into it. And I do feel like, so I asked them, then I was like, okay, explain the energetic thing to me, because I don't normally feel like heart chakra. Like, so solar plexus is how you relate to the world, how the world relates to you, and your self-esteem. I feel like this is about interpersonal relationships with other people, very close connected relationships. Um, I keep feeling husband, but I don't know that you're married. So it's like, it's this. And when I say I don't know that you're married, I don't feel like you're married. So have you been married before, or are you no longer married? If you can explain that, I'm going to keep rambling while I'm waiting for you to respond to that. So then I asked about this split with the heart chakra. And so then I was like, they were like, okay, so left will be her receiving. It's this feeling that you have shut down so much that you are no longer allowing yourself to receive love from a particular person. It does feel like a man. And because it's like disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, and just feeling like I'm not allowing myself to receive anymore. And the thing that they're making me feel like is actually within the next couple of months, forgiveness is coming. You sort of forgiving the situation, but it doesn't mean you're saying it's okay. It's just sort of like them coming to make reparations, them coming to repair what's going on, to apologize and acknowledge. Okay, so who would be this man? Is this your father? There's a male figure that would be close. Yeah, something like that. That's why I'm like, I thought maybe it was husband, but that's why I'm like, I don't know. It feels like a very close relationship. You and your dad have had wedding events. Okay. I say this in the sense as would he have also have cardiac issues or I feel like I don't like to say this, but there might be something coming up around health issues and or just the simple of like where he's at in life, having sort of this like they say psychologically we get to a certain age and we start to like think about life in the terms of like we only have so much time left and so you look at life differently because of impending death, not that death is around on the doorstep or anything, but just this like sort of existential crisis in a sense. um and I was just thinking if you checked anything else. And my sense is that like he sort of either he comes up with some kind of illness, but I need like just more of a like, oh, I'm not as young as I used to be. Not like I have stage 4 cancer. So I don't feel like he's going to come up with something like that. So please, like, it's not a death sentence. It's more of a just a like he has respiratory and breathing issues. Okay. So I feel like he's going to get a diagnosis along with this that's something along the lines of like making him realize that not that time is of the essence, but just sort of like life is too short to allow us to keep doing this. So I feel like literally within the next 2 to 3 months, there is going to be a shift in your relationship. It does not mean that you go, it's okay that you weren't great to me. It's okay that you weren't available. It's okay that you were hard on me, but more so that it's like you come to an understanding and an energetic forgiveness. And again, it's not, it's okay that you did these things. It's like an understanding that he's recognizing his shortcomings. I mean, that's really huge when a parent does that, right? When they go, "Yeah, I effed it up, man. I didn't do it well." I just realized, like, to you, my makeup not look may not look dark, but when I was younger, I wore my makeup a little bit darker. And by younger, I mean in high school. And my grandmother called me an old crow. And when I looked at myself for a second, I saw that, and I was like, "So maybe she's making a visit." Okay. Okay. So I think what's happening is he's going through this. Is his lung stuff mostly on his left side? So my sense is he's going through this and there's going to be big shifts over the next 3 months where you're going to actually see him making bigger steps and not just the apology, but bigger steps to changing your interactions with each other. Because it's again, it's not like he's dying, but when people are older and they start having, ailments and things go on, even if they're not death sentences, it starts to make them think in terms of, I'm not that young anymore. Maybe I need to like really take a look at what's going on in my life and who I am as a person, and do I want to leave the earth this way? I mean, let me just see if I'm picking up your stuff or because, like, I'm like, "Ooh, I feel like pre-recorded." Like, unless you're doing an audition for a part in a movie or a commercial or something, I feel like I keep feeling like, "No, don't do that." And I feel like because my sense is that you don't shine on the recording the way you do in person. Like, it doesn't lend to your strengths. I feel like you do really well back and forth when you're asked a question, like to like gauge the energy of the room. and I don't want to say you come off as a robot in a video, but like you don't come off as natural, and like it just feels too polished, and like you shine in your ability to like move in the moment. Oh, that's Charlie girl. Sorry. Just read that and I got the answer. There you go. Um, so that's my feeling on that. Jennifer. So I feel like going back to the other one, sorry. That's what happens. Um, oh, so I asked him, I'm like, so okay, so great. What about this? Like, I'm very happy for you, and this is not to dismiss it or say that like, oh, poo poo, that's it in 2 to 3 months. Um, it feels like in 2 to 3 months, it also feels like, so what is this? Because I was like, okay, so great. So what does this do for her? How does this propel her forward? And the feeling I get is not so much that it's like that's the major focus, but what that does is it releases some of the old belief systems and some of the holdovers that you've had on yourself about value, worth, et cetera, which then allows you to like start to have this like kind of glow up. Like this is your year to like sort of let go of the baggage. And then in 4 months, I feel like somebody comes in and you like, because you've done this shift and this release, somebody is coming in and it's going to be really lovely. And it's like interesting because I feel like they're making me feel like the sense of like you normally wouldn't have been attracted to each other, but because of this shift, it's like it allows this opening for you to fully embrace who you are and attract better quality person coming in. Like in the next 2 to 3 months, I feel like you do a lot of releasing of old attachments and old things that are no longer serving you. So the shadow work, inner child work, forging new neural pathways. Okay. So don't do it, Charlie girl, if you don't want to do it. That's just my sense is that you don't shine in a video. You shine like in person or in person and in virtual real time. Because I also think it shine like they keep showing me that you think quick on your feet. You're great to answer things, and that won't come across in a video. You're very welcome. When you take a sip and it like goes up your lips, and then you feel like you're like have a little handlebar mustache of water or whatever. This is water. Okay. Charlie girl, are you getting anything? Do you have any other questions? Are you good? And then I guess L. Johns, if you want to go. Starry Sky! I missed you. I was actually going to email you and be like, "Are you okay?" Not because you have to ask questions or whatever, but because I wanted to know that you were okay health-wise, and I meant to email you, and my day got away from me doing getting ready for I had to go out and buy something to wear for yesterday because I quite literally, y'all, when they say like dust off your boots, I literally had to dust off some boots to wear for yesterday because I pretty much wear my like some well lately I've been wearing my little combat-y type boots and Uggs are my winter boots. Like so I'm really, really glad to know you're here. I've missed you. Okay. Sorry, Eljon. Okay. You have it. Oh, Charlie Girl has a 3-round interview. Do I see it going well? So I feel like the first round feels a little, I don't want to say stuck or rocky, but it just feels like something. I don't know if it's like there's glitchy issues or what, but it just feels like not as smooth flowing. And then I feel like going goes well for the second and third round. I don't feel like it's the first round is glitchy to the point where it feels like, oh, we don't like her. We don't want to even bother with the second, third round. It feels like technical difficulties is what I'm being shown or told. So it has nothing to do with you as a person. It's just situational. So don't go, oh my God, this is a sign. It's not a sign. It's literally just like out of your control. But I feel like it's there to validate you that you know that 2 and 3 will go well. Oh, you've already had 1 and 2. Was there glitchy issues with 1? So the way they're making me feel like is like, and I don't know how to say this. So there's something about that first one that there was like resistance or I don't know. So did you feel like the first one, I'm trying to figure out why it would be this way. So did you feel like the first one was maybe not as didn't go as smooth as the second one or wasn't as but like did well with the second one? Was there a difference energetically to you? Because to me, there's like the first one's a little bit meh, and then the second and third one are fine. I do feel like they'll offer you a job. I don't know if it's like there's something where it's like not as much as you wanted, either of pay or benefits like vacation time, but it's like around the ballpark of what you were hoping, but maybe just slightly less. And it's not unacceptable. It just feels like, again, I feel like the question you have to ask is not like, so when they're like, what were you wanting for a salary or whatever? It's like, ask them what like their budget is. Because I feel like you'll get a little bit more by doing that way than by just telling them what your salary is that you want. Like throw it back in their face. $12 for a question, 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Okay, so L. Johns, let's look at yours. Looking for upside and romantic partner. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Um, you're an author, right? You do marketing. Maybe I was thinking of somebody else. Okay. So what I got was I was trying to put it in terms of being an author, but it's that's like, okay. So what I get is feeling like so they literally said it's dead in the water. So I don't know if energetically it just feels dead. You're not being challenged. You're not moving the way like in like, I'm going to put it in the way I got it, kind of like, so they said dead in the water. And then it felt like when you write a book and you complete it, and I don't know if this makes any sense, but if you write a book and you complete it and it's like out there, but it doesn't feel like it's hitting the way you want it to. So maybe in marketing, you're putting out your creative work and it's not being received the way you want it to, but it's like also not exciting to create. Like you don't feel like you're being challenged and it's not really your interest level. So it feels like to me like movement and change is coming, but it's like you have to change. So in the way they've made me feel like with writing a book, you have to change your literary agent or you have to change whoever's, so you have a more like a different creative outlet or a different access to maybe, so maybe in marketing it'd be like you have different access or different types of marketing you go towards that like excite you more. um this thing happened to pop up in one of my feeds and it was talking about different types of personality types, and the generator type is not like you have the possibility to make lots and lots of money, but only if you're creating content or only if you're doing things that you love, because people aren't attracted to the stuff you have. They're attracted to like, or that you're creating. It's like they're attracted to your energy and that's what makes them want to like purchase it. Okay. So it feels like you have to change. So maybe it means that you have to change. So I know that like there's, and I only know my husband's in construction and did construction in one of the buildings, but it's like there's a big advertising agency and there's like several smaller advertising agencies underneath this umbrella of this bigger one. So it may mean that like if you're in a situation where you're under the umbrella of a bigger one, you need to change which agency you're with, or you need to like actually just go work for somebody else who will give you the either the freedom to like be more creative, do something differently. But I don't feel like you're staying where you're at. And I feel like this change comes, within the next 6 months. Like it feels pretty quick. And it feels like smooth, easy. Um, because I don't feel like where you're at right now, you're going to get any movement. It feels very stuck. And I don't feel like, because I'm asking like, would you move cities? Would you do like, and it feels like, no, I feel like I'm in a hub or in an area where there's enough other places that I can go without having to move. Like I wouldn't have to move East Coast to West Coast or anything like that. It does feel very stagnant. um, so I feel like, again, I feel like the job change comes within the next 6 months. And I do feel like you're going to feel stagnant and stalled through the end of March. I got to be honest. I don't feel any movement until like after the spring equinox, which is like the first day of spring. It feels like April feels more energy movement and things moving in. But I also feel like to me, it feels a sense of getting what's that disorder where during the dark months or whatever, you get a little bit of depression. It feels like that. Um, and like you bloom and come to life when spring hits, you audit, and it's like a yearly thing. You always feel better. I also feel like something's going to happen at work in March, and don't be like, but like where it's going to piss you off enough to get up and go make the change and the movement forward. So within the next 6 months doesn't mean 6 months from now. It means in that time frame, I see the change happening, and they're highlighting May. So it may be that like something happens in March, and so you start putting your feelers out and start looking for other jobs. So April feels like a shift energetically for you where you start to really feel better. May feels like um maybe even hired in May, or maybe like that's where you start interviewing. And maybe June is when you start, maybe that's why I'm getting the 6. So it doesn't feel that far out. It feels pretty like there's like something that happens where it's the catalyst to be like, I can't anymore. This is like ridiculous. And I do feel like, it's not like I don't feel like you're gonna not date until this point, but I feel like something more serious coming in November. So more towards the end of the year. And it does, again, it feels like once the job changes, you sort of energetically kind of like focus on what you're doing, what you want, and sort of up leveling your own personal energy. And then it sort of is the catalyst to what brings other things in. But I don't feel like the serious relationship coming in before the job change. Okie doke. I'll leave you with that. Starry Sky, you want to know about what's going to happen with Ukraine? uh, I'm going to check the payment now. I have. Okay, Autumn, I have you. Is that your real last name? That's so cool. I won't say any reference to it, but it's cool. And then, I have, who said their name is under Jennifer? I have that payment. I got yours, Mariana. So, after Starry Sky, I need to put Libra Moon, and then Autumn, and then Mariana. All right, so Ukraine. Don't mean to be like, it's just funny. Like, we just got out of a war. It's like, I don't want to be like conspiracy theorist, but Jesus, do we really need to pay all of these? Like, sorry. So to me, it feels like a lot of posturing, a lot of posturing, a lot of posturing on Putin's part, right? So it's like, I feel like it blows over. So, if everybody's like, oh my God, this is the one that's going to start it's not. It feels like it blows over, but they're highlighting like October for me around this. So this astrologer was looking at Putin's chart, and it was sort of like this is the time that he would like get his ants in the pants, kind of like energy and start something. And it was like, if this happens, then it will die down. And if this other thing happens, like if he stays in his ego, then it doesn't. But my sense is that it does die down. And I feel like there's some behind the scenes wheeling and dealing to come to an understanding or compromise or something. And it does feel like it's behind the scenes. Like it's not anything that's ever going to come out, but it's agreements. And not like dark, whatever, but like uh, either lifting certain sanctions or decreasing trade tariffs, or it's something like that. It's not like, oh my God, they're ending the world and they're like, I don't know, whatever. So it's not like scary, dark. It's just sort of like if you and your neighbor just decided, like, okay, it's okay for you to like put this fence up and we don't need to like make a big deal. And you can take like, I don't know, a foot of I don't know, whatever it is, but it's just some weird, it's not that big of a deal kind of thing, but just, I don't know, decreasing payments for something or I don't know, whatever, but it's not like a deep, dark secret thing. Like it's not or, one of those like deep state. Maybe I shouldn't say that, right? But it's nothing like that. I gotta be honest. I really cannot fathom one small group of people orchestrating everything because, I mean, have you seen people try to put together an office party? It's like, so I do feel like there will be peace. I don't feel like it's going to get, I think it's really unfortunate that so many people are feeling under duress about it though. Like I would not want to live in the Ukraine right now and live. I mean, there's enough stress with the pandemic and then like this kind of like people just trying to like, look, I have a bigger dick than you kind of energy just is stupid. And I don't know. Okay. So Autumn, or Libra moon, you're first. Sorry, dear. You're very welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you're well. Are you well? Everything's going well? Libra moon, you're up. Good. I'm glad you're well. Okay, so I will answer Autumn since I'm waiting for Libra moon. So I do feel like something coming up, and it feels like it does feel like within the year that you will be in a relationship. So, but this is the way they're saying it to me, and this is the way I'm going to interpret it. So they're saying yes, but it's not going to be what she thought. And she needs to be a little more aware of red flags and honor them and be more aware of that it's not her job to, I do feel like you're a people pleaser and a doer. And so it feels like don't get caught in the trap of feeling like you need to compromise yourself in order for them to like you or want to be in a relationship with you. Does that resonate? Not to burst your bubble. Okay. What's the question mark? I yes, I'm psychic, but it makes it a lot quicker and a lot easier if you can be more specific about what your question is. You're married? Oh, this isn't for Libra moon. This is for autumn. Right. Libra. Okay, but this is for autumn. Did I say Libra moon? I meant autumn. This reading is for autumn. Hi, Ashley. So this is for autumn. I will check the payments while I'm waiting for Autumn to respond. I got out. Okay, actually tell your friend I have her payment. Um, but I don't know what the screen name is, so I don't want to put this on there. Yes, that resonates. Sorry for the delay. My video lagged. Oh, it's okay. No, it feels more about the relationship, not the specific person. So it feels like it's maybe not what you expected or um but and not like terribly terribly bad, but it feels like it's a little bit more emotional roller coaster ride. So it's like they're saying sort of pay attention to the red flags. Like if you feel like something's not right, trust it. Don't think that it's, oh, well, it's not right. Well, don't think that it's you that's the problem because you haven't been in a relationship. Okay. So it may be that this relationship isn't a really long lasting one, but because you pay attention to the red flags. So that's why I said it feels like it's not what you necessarily expected. Like, or when you envision a relationship, it's not really like going that way. But it doesn't mean that somebody better isn't going to come in. It's just also like sometimes we kiss a lot of frogs before we get to the prince. You know what I mean? Okay. So after Mariana would be Ashley then. And I'll have to go back and read that because that's a long. Oh, okay. Jihane. Okay. Did I say that right? Is it Jihane? I hope so. Okay. So Libra Moon wants a general. I feel like I can hear your guides arguing with each other. And so our guides oftentimes are like our personalities. So I'm just going to tell you, like, like they're bickering with each other. Um, and there's one in particular that's kind of funny. So I'm guessing this is sort of your personality too, to be like pretty matter of fact. Like you're not mean or anything, but you definitely don't sugarcoat things and you call it like you see it. Does this resonate, Libra Moon? Uh, and then I'm gonna ask them, like they're just bickering. I'm like, all right, so like oh. So do people describe you as like you just call it like you see it? Like you don't, I mean, it'd be like, yeah, that's a zebra. It's got black and white stripes. And I just feel like, and that's just an example of like just the way of like, but I don't feel like you're doing it in a mean or malicious way when you do it. So I want to say it that way. It always comes off like, but it just comes off as very like matter of fact, like I'm not going to sugarcoat something to make you like to like avoid discomfort. It's just like, yeah, and we all have this. Okay. They're just like So I feel like you might do this in life is like kind of what if an outsider were watching it feel like bickering, but it's just the way that you communicate with others and like the way people in your family communicate. It's more just like, why are you doing it that way? No. Like it's just it's that kind of back and forth. It's not like like they they're kind of like little old ladies bickering. um they are telling me in a not so roundabout way that it's really important for you to just focus on yourself, your health, your mental state, not like you're, whatever, but just like you're getting overwhelmed a lot. You're getting like it's just feeling like that of like a not dysregulated, but just like overwhelmed easily. And it's like I just do a lot. I'm always doing a lot. And there's sort of like stop having expectations with your husband because he's not going to change. Like you sort of just need to focus on yourself. And like in that change, when you focus on yourself, everything sort of lightens up and changes there. I don't feel like you have a terrible marriage by any means, but it just feels like maybe somebody, your husband, doesn't step up to the plate. And you're like, why do I like this is an example of like, can you help me with this? Why didn't you just ask? This is the ask. I am asking. Like you just want him to like go, oh, that needs to be picked up. I can see that needs to be picked up. And I see that she's really, really busy. So I'm just going to do it and not go, what do you want me to do? But it feels like you just need to start focusing on your own, like creating your own space, creating your own, like not like buying a new apartment, but like creating your own mental space of like, you know what? This is kind of messed up. I can see that I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm just going to go and like remove myself and do my own thing and not feel guilty about it and focus on me. Focus on my own affirmations. Focus on just like making myself feel good and not expecting other people to like get it or see it or figure it out. And they're like, it shifts once you do that. And your health. I do feel like it's really important that you start changing the way you eat because they're showing me that like changing the way you eat and like it's not about like going and joining a gym. Just go for some walks, get outside because I feel like that's really good for your mental health and clarity, and you need to do that. And then they're also talking about the conversations in your head because they're like she goes over and over and over and like relives that fight or like this is what I would have said da, da, da. And so all you're going to do is create more situations where you get a chance to say those things, but ideally wouldn't it just be nice to not have those situations because okay well don't go for a walk in minus 20 but like minus 20 is like what 0 in Fahrenheit. um oh Google. um I'm being an ass, sorry. Yeah. So they're kind of like, you have to make this decision to not, and I will tell you from being guilty of doing that, like next time I would say this, and then literally creating the opportunity for me to be able to say that, but with a different person. Don't do that to yourself. I think sometimes I do that subconsciously to show myself that we really do create our realities. Um, so it feels like just find a way to get out of the house then. Go walk a mall. I don't know what kind of regulations they have in Montreal right now, but it just feels like get yourself out there. And then if there's a warm day, if it goes above, gets to like freezing, whatever that is in Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius. Uh, if it gets above that, then go for a walk. Bundle up and go for a walk. Moving sucks. It's hard. Okay. Okay. Mariana, what was your question? Steph, I've got yours too. Oh, and Ashley's got one hand. After G. Hain is Ashley, and then there's Steph. You started a new job? Yay! Congratulations. So I feel the very first thing I felt was sort of like exhausted. I don't feel travel yet, maybe in May. But not like this month or anything. It feels like there's some changes coming on regulations. And so then they'll feel more wanting to do more of the in-person thing, getting people in person. So maybe like once a month initially, like May, June, July, and then have like a little break. I feel like there's definitely room for growth, but I feel like they're showing me like the 2 to 3 year mark is where that happens. And it feels more like either a shift in hierarchy by somebody leaving or somebody leaving and restructuring, and then like a new position is created. Hi, Joseph. Okay. And then Jihan, I'm going to read what you wrote in your, because it's long. Give me just a minute. Okay. Okay, so I wrote their names down because I actually wrote it where I listed them, where Abdel's name was below Wasim's name. So then they're like, no. So I wrote Adele's name there. And they took an air and they're like, he, and pointed to Wasim, and they said, wants to go for her. And Abdel is sort of the scout. So he's the person who is trying to feel out where you're at, because I feel like Wasim is really, it feels kind of elementary, high school-y. Like, do you like her? Like, my friend has a crush on you. Do you like her? Kind of thing. Because I feel like Wasim is really insecure and unsure of himself. And so Abdel is kind of like, hey. That's how I feel. So it's sort of like he'll show interest, but he wants to know. He's so afraid of rejection. He wants to know if you're okay first. Like if you're in. Does that make sense or does that resonate? Ashley, what's your question? Pardon my yawn. Oh, you want to hear from Dad? Okay. They've talked to each other, but I don't think it's like in the sense of like, she's mine kind of thing. It's more like wanting to know where you were at in order to tell him so he would feel more comfortable being interested in you. Yeah, that's fine, Autumn. So I was wearing a mask most of the night last night. And like having to do readings over people's voices, like I felt like I was yelling the whole time. My throat's all scratchy. I think he's interested, but he's afraid to, like, the sense I get is afraid to fully open up because doesn't know how you feel. That's that it feels kind of elementary school or grade schoolish, where, when you were in grade school, people will be like, do you like her? My friend has a crush on you. And it's like the back and forth for just like making the connection yourself. So yes, I feel like he's interested in you. Hang on, Autumn. I'll check. Okay, Ashley, oh, there you are. Okay, I wanted to talk about my job instead. Okay. We can talk about your job. So I just started writing down Ashley permanent job, and I got yes in May. So I get May and then something about June. So I don't know if it's they offered and then formally give you like in conversation, hey, are you interested in this? You have like a conversation about it, and then they formally offer you a contract in June. But it's May, and then I saw June following it up. Obviously, June follows May, right? But that's like not what I'm meaning. Steph, if you want to ask your question, and I'll check for payment now, Autumn. Autumn, I have yours. So we'll do Steph and then yours. Right. So maybe you get, or then maybe it's like offered, like you get the contract in May. Like it could be the May, like on the cusp of May, June. So maybe that's it. But I feel like you'll get it. Just see yourself signing the papers for the contract. Done. I'm a permanent teacher here. Done. And I think then is when you can apply for permanent residency. Maybe that's what it is. You're going to get the contract. Don't worry. Okay. Do you want to find a different job because you're afraid of failure? Is that like, I don't mean to laugh at you, but I'm just like, that's for you, Steph. What does that mean? They'd have to write it. So maybe they have to add in some stipulations or something. It'll be fine. You're reminding me of what's funny of like a not funny that this is how you're funny as an no, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so it's reminding me of like, somebody who has a lot of trauma, they start looking for everything to go wrong because that's what they're used to. So they're trying to prevent or save or whatever. It's like it's going to go okay. I do feel like I said, there might be something where, like I said, something about May, June, but you're going to get it. It'll be fine. And you are going to get your permanent residency. Or maybe you sign the contract in May and then you get you fill all the paperwork for permanent residency in June. It could be something like that too. Mm. That may just be, to me, when I read that, I'm like, that just feels more about logistics for your visa stuff to come through. It doesn't feel like, because it's only going to be part-time or whatever, temporary. Okay. So that feels more like, when you wrote that, that feels more logistics than anything. Like legal speak, like we have to do this, we're going to do this, but it's totally fine. Just have to write it this way. I just asked if you're going to stay at this company stuff. And they said leaving in 3 months. And I don't think you're fired. I just feel like you find something where you feel a better fit, and you're not going to do terrible tomorrow. I do feel like, so I don't feel like you do terrible and screw things up, but I do feel like your boss likes to look for flaws in everybody. So even if it's like not a big deal, it's like, well, you didn't do this perfect. Like somebody I know, a friend of mine, her kid got like an A and not an A plus or something really ridiculous. And the dad was like, why don't you get it perfect? Like, it's like, it's something that shouldn't matter, and it will come up that way. You're welcome, Ashley. I don't think that you'll stay in the same company. I feel like you're moving. No, the visa was about Ashley. I said for you, that I see you changing jobs in 3 months. And I actually feel like leaving the company. So if working for HR becomes like a feeling like you're totally have left the company and gone to a whole new place, maybe that's it. But I feel like leaving the company, because I see leaving the building. That's for you, Steph. Visa's not for you, though. That was for Ashley. All right, Autumn. Would the new job be in HR? I'm getting a bigger yes than no. So I'm not getting a definite like yes. It's just like a strong yes. Because it feels like there's something a little bit different that it entails, that it's not just straight HR stuff. It feels like there's some other extra that's like sort of outside the scope of what you would consider traditional HR. And maybe it's not, maybe it's just my idea, but like someone I know works in HR for a company, but they also do a lot of training stuff. So I guess in my mind, that's not what HR people do. I feel like HR people, I don't know, handle disputes. Because I think my perspective is coming from a nursing standpoint, and like HR was not teaching us anything. We were learning from nurse educators if we had to learn anything. Okay. So maybe it's something like that where you get to do training. So it's not like just sitting in the office. Okay, let me do autumn here. Been trying to manifest, hoping for a relationship with Joe. Just wanted to know if this is going to happen. It's not too many questions, but I'm going to tell you, stop saying I am trying. I'm trying means you're doubting that you're actually doing it. And then, so it feels like as long as you stay in that state of, because manifesting is like, if you stay where you're at right now, it's not going to happen is what they're showing me. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate you too. So it feels like I'm trying means you doubt that it's possible. This really cool thing that I've started doing, and mine's more around money, but so I've had a lot of, like, I grew up with a lot of different beliefs around money and was taught a lot of different things about money. Like, nobody talked about money in my family. Like, it was like, we don't talk about salary. So like never had an idea of how much somebody made. Didn't talk about like how much a house was worth, didn't talk about how to save, didn't talk about how to invest. Like, there was a lot of scarcity and lack mindset. And a lot of like, I remember my father getting mad that somebody in the neighborhood, a kid who was 16, had a nicer car than he did. Just like a lot of not great energy around what money is. And then like, also we didn't have a lot of money. When my parents were divorced, I was living with my mom. And so I was like, we couldn't afford for me to join the dance team or the sports team. And like, even like we just didn't have any money. We just didn't have it. And I didn't think, oh, I wish I was. I was like, okay, like it was more matter of fact. So I had a lot of different ideas around what money was. Also, I laugh now because I think I'm not a dancer, so it's really funny to think I wanted to do something like that. Yeah. So I started reading this book by Jen Sincero. I'm not in love with her writing style, but I like the way her mind works. So I will say it like that. And it was sort of this idea, like when you look at something, like what are your thoughts around, and for you, this is around relationships. So what are your thoughts around relationships? You need to look at that because that helps you find your blocks. Then it helps you shift and decide to change how you think about them. So how do you feel about relationships? Do you think they all end up in like disaster? Do you feel like somebody's always going to cheat? Do you feel like, oh, well, I think love works for that person, but it doesn't work for me? Like things like that. Or you can even look at manifesting. So then it's like, well, why do you think that? Go to like the core of everything and then sort of like shift it and be like, find the positive flip of that, right? So relationships work out for everybody, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Then the other part of it is like, when you're looking at manifesting, like, so for me, for money, I took money out of, instead of being like, say I want clients, instead of thinking like, I need that person to like reach out to me, or I need people to reach out to me, because to me, that feels much more difficult. I just saw money as this energy, like a puppy dog, like a puppy dog. They're just like, they're so loving and excited to see you. Not like a cat. We love cats, but they're a little more difficult. Same with bunnies. Puppy dogs are like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see you. Ah. So I looked at money as just energy, and people are just energy, really. So I was like, okay, I got over the fact that like, if you say you love money, that somehow that's money worshiping, and then that's bad and evil, and only evil people have money, and only rich people have, and rich people are evil. Like I've started like taking away from it as money is just this energy that can support me, that can help me get the things that I want in life, that it can help me also then help other people and support their ideas and dreams. It's just energy. It's like lots of energy. So I imagined it as energy flowing towards me and filling me and loving me and like all of that stuff and like excited to be around me and then I can share it with other people. And like the minute I started doing that, I'm not kidding, I started like people started reaching out for readings and events. Like it just starts happening. So instead of thinking of, oh, and then like when they would come in, I would say, I created that. So instead of thinking like, oh, look, isn't that a coincidence? I created that. It shifts your feelings around it. So it feels like start creating other things with manifesting and start looking at how you look at love, how you look at relationships, how you look at your own worth and your own value. Start going and working on the affirmations around yourself and your self-worth. Take the younger you where that idea started that you weren't valuable and worthy of somebody's time and attention. And imagine that younger you and talk to that younger you and like talk her up. Tell her how amazing and wonderful she is. And that of course she's valuable. Just because that person can't see it doesn't mean that she's not valuable. Yes, I feel like so here's the other caveat. I go, well, yeah, they go, no, because if you change your mindset, what's going to happen is you're going to realize like you're going to level up and pick somebody that's more on par with where you're going to be at energetically. I feel like he's like, you've got him on a pedestal, but he's not really deserving of that pedestal. Like you're going to find out that you energetically match up with somebody even better. Because he's not going to be able to like, you're going to lose interest. And I don't think he's a bad guy. I just feel like you're going to be like, I want somebody who gives me the whole loaf of bread, not just a slice. I mean, he's more than breadcrumbs. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just that what you're going to start doing is really working manifesting and really doing it the way I like is like where you become consciously mastering manifesting. And then you're going to be like, I was settling and I don't want to settle. It doesn't mean you can't like, look, people show up however, and you can change situations, you can change people. But I just feel like also it becomes preference and you're going to choose someone else. Like someone who's more in line with the idea of creating the life of your dreams and manifesting and less into like, I don't know. I don't want to knock him. I just feel like you're going to do so much better. Okay. So I think that's it. We done? Let me just check. I hope that was helpful. I hope everybody has, wait. OG Hayden has one more question I see. You're welcome, Jihane. So I feel like you're going to get it, but I do feel like there's going to be like like almost like not a snafu, but it feels like a shutdown of some sort. And I don't think it's COVID related. It feels more political related, where there's going to be like a brief, so it creates like a little delay, but I feel like you'll get it. or maybe it's a holiday, but it feels like there's something that creates a slight delay and then you get it. Don't panic during the delay that then like, oh my God, they're going to revoke my visa and blah, 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 or whatever it is. It's like, just don't go there. Just know that everything's always like where you say the mantra, everything's always working out in my favor. Good things always happen to me, no matter what it looks like right now. I know this is just a bridge of the incidents because I've got my, my citizenship or whatever it is, permanent residency. Sorry. I feel like so here's the thing. I don't feel like the problem's with something you're doing wrong. I just feel like it's, things are a little discombobulated within the personnel in the office. A time frame? They're showing me a gap. So they're showing me something about May and then something about October, and I'm sort of like asking about the September. I'm sort of asking about the calendar in between, and it feels like nothing. So I don't know if like you were hoping for it by this time, but then you don't hear about it until much later, like the September, October time. Like they had said to me something about May 1st. Are you hoping for it by May 1st? Okay, this is weird. I'm like, they're like something, they're like, she should have it by May 1st, but it feels like it's temporary until a permanent thing comes in a few months later. So it may be that like we're extending your temporary visa until we can, because we know you're going to get this one, but it's like a formality red tape thing that it takes a certain amount of time before you can get it or something like, but you're going to be fine. You're going to get it, but it feels like there's something about May 1st and then the September thing. Great. I just feel like does May 1st resonate as a date that's of importance? Yes. Do you guys live together? Because I actually feel like you might end up getting an apartment together. So I feel like you'll maybe it is that you get the response and you know that you'll have it in May, and then it takes a few months for you to actually get the paperwork. You might end up getting an apartment together. Okie doke. You might end up getting an apartment together. You'd have to leave your job? I'm just going to throw this out there. At some point, you might end up living together somehow. Okay. So I'm throwing that out there. I don't know why, but I just saw you like being roommates at a point. So I know that you're just visiting right now, but this might be something that comes down the road. Sometimes the hits that I get for stuff is years in the making. I don't know. I don't understand it, but I'm leaving it at that. Like I saw Trump being arrested like years and years and years ago. So maybe that'll happen. I don't know. I don't understand if you're permanent residents, like it could be a little different, right? I don't know. I don't understand. All right. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm signing off. I hope you all have a wonderful week. If you're interested in private readings, hit me up. myspiritualfriend.com. I've got a /readings. There's a page on there. The link is below. I'm on TikTok. The link is below. I'm on Instagram. Not as busy on there, but I'm going to start cross posting because whatever. The link is there. Oh, also watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. One of my favorite actors is in the first season, and he's only one of my favorite actors because he's my friend's kid and I adore him. All right. Bye.